Hey everybody, it is August 14th, 2007. I am Sonic Suns. I'm doing a video entitled The Rise of Open Source. Or so I should hope. That is to say, I should hope that open source will be rising, not that I hope that's the topic I'm talking about, because I presume that I have enough control over myself to know what thing I'm talking about, though generally I kind of don't. Maybe? Kind of? Metacognitive loop. Get stuck in it. No, but moving on back to open source. I really love this stuff for several reasons. The biggest reason is the ideological one. That being it's utterly free. Not first of all for cash, but secondly for you can use it and change it and do pretty much whatever you want with it, except prohibit other people from making changes. Right? I mean, not like you can stop. Yeah, you can't undo the open sourced nature of it. Is the only restriction there is. So you have this thing, this program, or this idea, as the case may be. But generally, it's a program, and it just modifies however anybody wants it to modify, and everyone benefits. Everyone gets more than they put in. And if you expand the definition of open source to like community-based things, there's no better term for this, but to include things like Wikipedia, right? Any given Wikipedia, and even the most amazing and most trusted and most prolific of the people out there, is going to contribute less than 1% of the total amount of information on Wikipedia, right? But every person, though they contribute less than 1%, receive, if they want it, 100% of that total information. This is the great thing with information. It enables sharing. Something that I guess the communist ideal is trying to go for, the sharing idea that is. That hey, if we all cooperate and work together, and pool our resources, we'll be a lot better off. And I think if people really did cooperate, that would work. The problem is, if a communist regime that, let's say, if it's an evil communist regime and starts forcing people to cooperate in the way the regime wants you to, then you just have a dictator state, and that doesn't really help anybody, because then it's just that one guy in charge, or that one little group at the top, who, probably don't make the best decisions, because nobody elects them, and nobody has any say on what they're doing. So what do you got? On the other side of this, on the open source side, we have information, right? And we pool our resources, we pool knowledge, and you pool knowledge to a group. You don't lose any of that knowledge. I still have it, and I still have my program, and I still have my own, whatever I contributed to Wikipedia is still up there, even if it gets deleted. The information is out there. So you can't lose anything, right? So like ideologically, this is pretty dang cool. We're cooperating, and then functionally, it's pretty dang cool. This is what I like. This stuff actually works. I run Ubuntu all the time. Ubuntu Linux, except for the fact that I need to run this webcam in Windows. Obviously, there are kinks to work out. But dang, man, if you told me like 30 years ago, before I was born, but if I had been alive, if you told me 30 years ago, this whole open source thing, I would have been like, wow, that sounds great, but is it gonna happen? Can you honestly get a bunch of utterly random people just out on the internet cooperating somehow? How does that work? How does that, how can we share? And everything's, it splinters and reforms, and it does this all weird. It's kind of organic. I love that idea of it. Just the program just grows, or the Wikipedia, or whatever it is. Just moves and grows on its own. And, I think open source, philosophically and functionally, is just fundamentally better than proprietary, than the stuff we've got. Because as people get more connected, as the crowd starts to get smarter, or has the potential to be smarter, we could all choose to be stupid, which is exactly what they do on Uncyclopedia, by the way. You've seen that? Wikipedia. A bunch of people get together for the purpose of making something smart, and they make an exhaustive encyclopedia 6 times larger than Encyclopedia Britannica, as far as the English edition is concerned. On the other hand, you have Uncyclopedia, where a bunch of people get together for the purpose of making something dumb, and you get something absurdly dumb. It's not even like witty anymore, it's just random crap. But people get together to make a good computer program, for instance. and we start being able to cooperate more and more and more with the universe, or, the human species anyway, or at least that part of the human species which has access to computers, which isn't a whole lot considering that 3 billion people live on $2 a day, but there's still a lot of people that do have access to computers, and thanks to the one laptop per child program, hopefully it will be more people rather soon, and those more people will get themselves some food and water and shelter in addition, so that they can actually use all this stuff moving on. So what we have here is this better cooperation with the masses, with the crowd, or the cloud, as they're calling the internet these days. It becomes less and less smart to keep anything hidden, Except in the case of my creative stuff, and I want to keep all the spoilers away. I hate spoil. I wouldn't want to spoil my own stuff to everybody. But in general, if you keep something hidden, that just limits the number of people who can deal with it, right? And previously we were incapable of cooperating, so you send it out there, it wasn't going to do anything, it was ineffective, and in any case, that made it kind of hard to make into a commercial product that way. Which is a weird thing with open source. It's kind of hard to make these things a commercial product. You can offer a service, they'll give you a free program, they'll say, pay us such and such money per year, and we'll have 24-hour call-in centers, and your company can call us up and we'll fix things. But guess what? What happens if the 24-hour call-in centers go open source? And people, just as they randomly contribute their time to writing code, what if people just randomly contribute their time to answering phone calls? That's kind of a leap, but I think it could happen someday, and you just kind of, it's all connected to the internet and all that, and basically you end up just connected to some random call of somebody who has a problem with, let's say, Linux, and maybe it's even placed, who knows what, so they'll call people who probably know the answer. So it's routed through this automatic process, and then it gets to you, and you pick it up, and like, oh, yeah, just do such and such, and click it down. And soon enough, you can't even offer up that as a service. Moving, ideally speaking, now everything's more messy than it seems, and the ideas and everything, but it's kind of moving towards a post-scarcity economy, which I guess, I don't know if you could ever really have, because, we'll always find something that's scarce to fight over, I guess. But, we start moving around information really fast, right? You could say information, as far as encyclopedia-type information goes, is already pretty much post-scarcity. Pretty much anybody with a computer can just log onto Wikipedia and get the encyclopedia entry on whatever. Now, there's plenty of other types of information which still is scarce. For instance, I go to the Wikipedia page on New York, and I get a lot of facts on New York, but what if I want to know what it's like to live there? What if I want to know, that's kind of harder to get, and then I actually have to do something, then I actually have to, maybe, talk to some people, or pay some service to give me a tour, and then maybe I get a better sense of it, But information starts getting more and more post-scarcity, or abundant, I guess I should say.